Welcome back everybody, and in this video we're going to go over factorials, what they are, how we can use them, how we can do calculations on them. I'll go through a brief sort of understanding of it and then a series of examples. These are the examples that I'm going to go through. If you want to pause the video and work through them at your own pace, then check your answers, then please do so. Otherwise, let's dive in. So factorials can be represented using this exclamation mark. And what we do is if we wrote something like 3 factorial, then we start with 3 and we multiply every previous integer together down to 1. Now, that would obviously equal 6, and that would be 3 factorial. There's a few things that we need to note here. A factorial always needs to be positive. We do not deal with negative values in a factorial. Also, if ever you see something like 0 factorial, that is in fact 1. That is to keep some continuity going when we are doing things like NCR in binomial expansion. So that is just another thing to take note. If we see n factorial, then the reason why we have n times n minus 1 is that we are subtracting 1 from the integer, whatever n is, and then we'll have n minus 2 and so on, going all the way down to 1. Question 1. Express in factorial form. Okay, part A, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Well, that is just 4 factorial. Part B, we see 7 all the way down to 1, so that is going to be 7 factorial. Part C, now 6 times 5, this is an interesting one. So this would normally be 6 factorial, so it'd be 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, but there is no 4, 3, 2, 1. So what we want to do is we want to divide that by 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So expressing in factorial, that would be 6 factorial divided by 4 factorial, and that means that all of those would cancel out with all of these. Okay, on to part D then. So 8, 7, 6, well, for the same reason that I just did part C, that is going to be 8 factorial over 5 factorial, cancelling all of the 5 times 4 times 3, etc. out. So let's do E, 10 factorial over 6 factorial. And F, we're going to have 15 factorial now over 11 factorial. And that is question 1 completed. Okay, simplify without using a calculator. Part A for question 2 is 7 factorial over 6. Well, that would be 7. Imagine that 7 times 6 times 5 and so on, all over 6 factorial, which is 6 times 5 all the way down to 1. So all of those are going to cancel out, just leaving you with 7. So that is the answer for part A. Okay, let's go and have a look at part B. So that's going to be 8 factorial. So that'll be 8 times 7, and then all of the rest are going to cancel out with the ones on the bottom. So that'll be 6 times 5. So they're all going to cancel, leaving us with 8 times 7, which is 56. Okay, part C, 12 factorial times, over 10. So that'd be 12 times 11, which is equal to 132. And part D, 120 factorial over 119 factorial is just going to be 120. Question 3, we're involving n now. So if we had n factorial, well, that is n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 and so on all the way down to 1. So if that is divided by n minus 1 factorial, that's n minus 1, n minus 2 all the way down to 1. So these are all going to cancel each other out, leaving us just with the value n. So there's part A complete. Part B, let's draw a line here. So B is n plus 2 multiplied by n plus 1. Remember, we're subtracting 1 from this number, whatever this number is. So then we're going to get n. Then we're going to get n minus 1 all the way down to 1. So that means then if you're dividing by n factorial, this will be n times n minus 1 all the way down to 1. So they're all going to cancel each other out, leaving us with this value, n plus 2, n plus 1. Now, if you want to times that out and put it as a quadratic, you can. I would say just leave it like this, but depends. Multiple choice questions might give you a answer like this, and this would be our answer if we multiplied out. Okay, part C. So we've got n plus 1 factorial, right, which would be n plus 1, then n minus 1, and so on, all the way down to 1 over n minus 1. So we can see here this is going to cancel out. So I'll just draw a line through that section and that section, leaving us with this last little bit here, which is going to be simply n squared plus n. And that is the end of question 3. Okay, factorial notation. Are there any questions you'd like to post in the comments below so I can work through them? Let me know how you get on. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.